There are some metrics, there are some things that I like to look at because I feel like it tells a different story about recruiting. And I think depending on the size of the company, recruiting can still be seen as a cost center as opposed to actually being something of a revenue generator. And I think that the looking at it as a revenue generator side really goes back to how could you tie recruiting the people that recruiters find to the output of the people that they found. And you can measure that along the lines of, all right, let's say going back to the same thing. So recruiter A, you've got recruiter A and recruiter B. Recruiter A and recruiter B, they both hire for account executives. And recruiter A hires, they each have the same number of recs, let's call it 10. They each have 10 recs to hire. At the end of hiring all of those recs, you go back and you look at the performance of the people that they hired. And if recruiter A's people that they found, if those people end up generating, let's say, a 500,000 in annual reoccurring revenue, and recruiter B's people end up only generating 300,000 in annually reoccurring revenue, that's a metric that can be both a people analytic metric and a recruiting analytic metric, because you could go back and you could say, all right, is it the quality of the people that the recruiter is finding, or is it the training that they were given? If they were both given separate groups of training, which training worked out better? Which group sort of worked out a little bit better within all that? So I think that's sort of something that's interesting to look at from like a recruiting metric that might not be viewed at, because it ties in so many other things that usually a business isn't really looking at. You're looking at sort of the recruiter as kind of a point of sale, and then it sort of stops there sometimes.